Y'all got jobs?
Now look, I go first. Yes, I
do. You can alleviate the struggle if you go get a job.
The Social Cypher Podcast.
Get up there!
Talking about yourself.
LB, be professional. We already started rolling here, sir. All
right. No,
stupid man.
No.
Welcome.
What up?
Welcome back to the Cypher Podcast, Quarantine Edition, Week 95.
We back, man.
We are here, as always. I'm 1/4 of the group, of the manly testosterone group up in here. These are my dogs. These are my bros. My name is Hot, by the way, but to my left, probably somewhere else on his screen. Where am I? Are we next door?
We're right here. We're right here.
Yeah,
no.
Here, man.
Y'all wrong.
Hey, it's your boy Antonio Ramsey, aka Mr. Funk Trap. Like my boy Hop said, week 96, 98.
Yeah, he said 95, but okay.
Oh well, hey, we gonna add some more because it feel like it.
And down below me is Mr. Chocolate Drop himself.
Second chocolate.
What up, y'all? I'm just hanging out at the house. This is LB.
Oh Lord,
on quarantine. Man, I'm scratching my head, man.
For those of you who are not watching, what LB is attempting to do right now is do this little flex. Listen, don't nobody want to see that. Okay, we know the gyms ain't open right now. Listen, man.
Hey, his new name is Randy Watson. Mr. Randy Watson. Texas chocolate.
Randy Watson.
That boy good.
Y'all know what time it is. Y'all ready? 1, 2, 3. Hey.
Live. He's in the square below us. My next door neighbor. 5'6", in the mix. Give it up for number 23.
Hey.
What was that?
What is it?
Talking to the ladies.
Are you catching on?
Calm down, ladies. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down.
You need help, man.
Calm down.
Yeah, something wrong with you, bro. Something wrong with you.
What's up, ladies?
To calm down, man.
What's up, brothers?
Who are you?
Who are you, man? We
know I'm the penny taker. Like the Undertaker,
Lord.
I'm the penny taker.
I'm out. Oh, Lord.
Yeah. AKA Diggy, for y'all that don't know, I don't want you to stop me on the street saying the penny taker. Unless you're 18 or older.
Look.
Oh, man. That's it.
All right.
Anyway. Okay.
You stupid, man.
What's up, man? What y'all up to,
you,
man?
LB?
Thanks for the chocolate.
Yeah, man. Well, anyway, as always, ladies and gentlemen, we thank y'all for tuning in for episode 97 of Quarantine Week 97. Yeah. And as always, we thank you for doing so well. But we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for who? For you. And so we gonna jump right into the social buzz. So let's jump on it, man. What you got, Antonio?
All right. So with the social buzz, we're talking everything current, whether it be anything that's going on that I feel like is buzzing and y'all need to hear. So today we talking about round 2 of the stimulus payments. Now, the reason why we're talking about this is because there's 3 proposals, and I want to get my brother's feedback on which proposal they feel like will be the best for us as a nation.
All 3. Oh, go ahead.
Now, if we could take all 3, I would say yes, let's do it. But I doubt they're going to give us all 3. There's one that I feel like they're going to do, but I'm going to see what y'all think. So The first proposed option is called the Emergency Money for the People Act. Now, what is this? That's the one that's going to provide the $2,000 a month for up to a year. So that sounds, for most people, that sounds like, okay, cool, $2,000, that'll help. Now, the second one is called the Rent and Mortgage Cancellation Act. This would cancel mortgage and rent payments for up to 1 year. So that sounded. Now let me I'm gonna tell you my rationale. And I'm gonna get y'all feedback. Now, the last one is called the Getting America Back to Work Act. Now, this is gonna provide a payroll tax rebate that covers 80% of payroll expenses, enabling businesses to more easily hire and retain employees. So My thing is the third one is the one that's going to, help people get back to work, help businesses keep their employees. But I feel like if you give people in LA, I don't know about everywhere else, but if you give people $2,000, that's basically rent anyway. So would you prefer having your rent paid and you can just keep whatever money you make on the side, or have them give you $2,000 to go towards your rent, or would you just have people go back to work, let people get some jobs?
You know what I say? I say rent, because like
I agree. That's what I said.
Only reason I say rent is because like people who have kids, you'll still get the tax-free thing, and then you can still work. I think that's the caveat to it.
So you think they're gonna let people still? So let me ask you this: if they pay everybody rent, you think they're gonna still give people that tax credit for their kids and stuff like they are?
No, I'm saying you can still go to work, make your money, and the rent will be, you won't have to worry about paying rent. So that, you know what I'm saying? Like you can get $2,000 a month, but even you have to use that up in rent. So imagine if you still don't have a job. Yeah. So like you got to kind of think about it from, especially people with kids, like LB, you can attest to this, or even if you got a family. Yeah. Or even if you by yourself, you know what I'm saying? Like rent would definitely, especially, New York, LA ain't the height. New York, LA, you got places like San Francisco, all these places with really, really high rent. So let's say even if like these employees can't have money, like I had a friend of mine, she worked for Europe. Man, Europe is a nationally known nonprofit organization that help kids go to college, prepare them like that next step. And they let go of every last executive director throughout across the United States. So now, you know what I'm saying? So now she got to figure out how to get a job and pay her rent. So imagine if she only had to pay her rent, she can get food stamps, at least for food, for nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I look at it that way. You know what I'm saying? Even if they go back to work, who's to say you will get hired? You'll be one of those people that get hired.
But that's a fact.
True.
That's just my.
I saw you shaking your head, man. What you think?
Well, for me, it's a little tough because I'm also a landlord. So if you are going to pay people's rent, then I guess, never mind. I guess that would be fine because they would pay me directly for.
You would still get paid.
So, it's just like the next day. It's just like, and those.
Actually, you know what? You know what? Let me look. Let me recap my.
He don't thought about it.
But you want to know the crazy part? I feel like they're gonna give us the worst of the evil. You know what I'm saying? Because again, even with that relief number 3 you mentioned, the 80%. Payroll tax again, man. It's like people still are people really hired? Like people screaming get back to work, but even before this, unemployment was really, really high. So what does that say? It's even higher now.
Millions more higher.
So I feel like either way I feel like the rent is probably always the best option. That's just my thing.
People always need a roof over their head. Right? They always need a roof over their head. And I think that if you pay people's rent from a mental aspect, people can kind of chill out, right? You know what I mean? They can kind of chill like, hey, look, whether your rent is anywhere from $2,000 on down, you know what I'm saying? You feel like, okay, I at least got my rent covered. We're getting so many, I guess you get a lot of breaks for your utilities and stuff like that, right? So you can kind of chill a little bit until this whole thing blows over. Here's my thing, and I know how you'll have something to say as well, but here's my thing, man. What they gotta get their money back somehow. That's my thing. It's like, okay, you're gonna give me $24,000 for an entire year. Nothing is free, and I think that's what some people forget. Nothing is free. So how do you plan to get that $24,000 back from me that you gave me for an entire year?
I ain't gonna lie.
The hamster wheel, and I'll close it with this. The hamster wheel for me is I always look at the bigger picture. Where is the government getting this money from?
All of a sudden.
All of a sudden. Right. Now, granted, taxpayer dollars. So it's technically our money anyway. So you're making me feel like I need my money when in fact it's my money from the beginning.
It's mine anyway.
Right. So two, the $1 trillion bill and all stuff being approved again. Where are we borrowing from? Because before we had this crisis, we was already in debt from other countries. So it's at the end of the day, I say that to say that money that you're getting we're gonna have to look for it. They're gonna look for it back.
Yeah. It's coming from somewhere. You better believe that.
It's just so we have to pay back, man. But yeah, I look.
All I can say is I'm nervous, and I'm nervous.
I still ain't got my phase 1 check.
but I think that in times like this, right? If you need the money, you take the money and you deal with everything else later, right? Yeah. Like, because I mean, it's really nothing you can do, you know. So I mean, all in all,
but ladies and gentlemen, be smart. If you can stack your money as because we know we're gonna pay it back, try to save some money every now and then as well. Let's be smart about it, ladies and gentlemen. Try to save yourself some.
And while you're stacking, listen to what I'm about to give you. These songs right here, okay?
Yeah.
Second. So you know I'm down. Welcome to my corner. This is the speaker box. This is what's in my speaker box. This portion is now dedicated to not artists, not individual singles, but we're talking about movie soundtracks. Here's where we are.
Hold on now. Now you're switching it up on us.
Your pen pad ready. We've got some old, we got some classics, and we also got some young movies. The title's gonna make it seem like it's a child movie, but if you think about who produced it, then you'd be like, oh, wait a minute. Okay. So the first soundtrack is from a movie called Walter Mitty. I don't know if you know Walter Mitty. I forgot the guy's name from Zoolander. He's a short dude.
Oh, I know you're talking about.
Not Ben. Ben Stiller? Not Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller. Okay. It's a great movie. Super again, that album. That soundtrack to me is another indie like atmospherical thing, but it also has a hit of like hip hop, like boom bap, trap, all that stuff. But it's a collective album. Second movie, now hear me when it's Despicable Me. Now I know adults are like, wait, Despicable Me. So, let's just think about who did the underscore for the entire movie, which was Pharrell Williams and the Neptunes.
Well, if the Neptunes did, you know it's smashing.
So the soundtrack. It was also an oversaw the soundtrack, so that's an incredible something that's different. It's a great one. I'm gonna move down the list because I'm gonna say that one for last. Another movie is an old school movie. Now you know some of you may know me. My wife is not African American, so she has opened up my culture to a whole nother world. And there is a movie called 50 First Dates with Adam Sandler, and that one because it's and Julia, what were you about to say? See.
Oh, yeah, with Drew Barrymore, right?
Yeah.
I love it.
And Adam Sandler. It's called 50 First Dates. But the movie takes place like in the islands. So the whole album is reggae. That's where you got like Amber is the color of your energy. You love it. Like the whole, that album, that soundtrack is a classic. I have two more. Any Given Sunday. Now, for the kids that are watching that are 30, they not gonna know Any Given Sunday.
Yeah, that's throwback.
LL Cool J, Jamie Foxx.
Right.
Exactly.
That's a classic.
Get off me.
That's a classic.
That is a classic soundtrack. You got pretty much all of your late 90, early 90 hip hop artists on that soundtrack. That's a dope collective. And last but not least, kind of bringing us into the early 2000s was the Black Panther soundtrack. Black Panther soundtrack was incredible. It was
Weeknd, SZA, all those people.
Kendrick Lamar, MTD, all those guys. But dude, when I tell you, go ahead and just listen. Spotify has them up. Just type in these things. These are my top 5. I think it's 5. These are my top 5 soundtracks to listen to my speaker box. Capitol Hill. Let's go.
Let's go. That Dead Presidents was lit, bro.
It was, look.
Oh, yeah.
That whole thing was lit.
That Dead Presidents was lit.
I'm going to have to do 2 because you're right. Dead Presidents, Love and Basketball, Brown Sugar.
All those classics, man. We're going to have to do that again.
Soul Food.
Soul Food was cool.
Oh, yeah.
Mama,
Hey.
you know I
Say that.
Hey. Come on, Antonio.
He want to show his arms. Look, he just want to show his arms. Look, that's all he want to do is just show his arms.
Put them things away, man.
It don't got hot outside, man.
Put them things away, man. We go to, come on, man. Grab it, man. We're going to go to Capitol Hill real.
All right, let's go.
All right, let's go.
You stupid, man.
But we gonna make it quick this time in Capitol Hill, man. Cause not a lot going on that I'm sure that y'all already heard and tired of hearing about. Yeah. But one thing that stood out, the Vice President Mike Pence is under some criticism, because on Tuesday he walked into a Mayo Clinic without check this out, without a face mask.
What? How he don't have a face mask?
The vice president. Everyone in the building was wearing the face mask, and he chose not to wear the face mask. He told reporters that he wasn't wearing the face mask because he had been tested for coronavirus and he tested negative. So there was no reason for him to wear that.
To wear no mask.
And these are the people that's running our country.
And these are the people that's running our country.
That's what to do.
In addition to the 30 people, and I'm just gonna mention because it sounds like a lot that's going on in the ground. I'm just gonna mention it. Ever since Trump, y'all president, made the comment about ingesting cleaner fluid, 30 people there's been a spike in New York, they said, of about 30 people that came into the ER saying that the president said it was okay to do.
And they're all Trump followers.
So that's what's going on Capitol Hill for all you Trump followers. For those of you thinking about not voting,
hold on, man. Let's take a moment.
Let's take a moment.
Okay.
Let's take a moment of silence
for the bleach drinkers.
For those individuals that have been led astray. I'm gonna leave it there.
All right.
They've been led astray. Antonio, man, because I need to chill.
Listen. I just want to know what in your right mind would make you think it's okay to drink cleaning products, whether he said it or not. I ain't gonna listen to nobody, and they tell me to drink no cleaning products, president or not.
You ever heard the thing? Go drink bleach and die.
I guess they would say okay.
Working on it.
Bam.
I guess they said okay.
Bam.
Man.
Well, hopefully movies got bleach in them.
Well, unfortunately, none of these movies ain't got no bleach in them. I guess I wish they did have some bleach in them, but what's happening with quarantine and chill, y'all know I got some good stuff for you this week. So we're going to start with number one. It's a new movie on Netflix called Coffee and Kareem. It's starring Taraji P. Henson. Let me tell you something. I thought it was going to be something different because it's a little kid in it, but this little 12-year-old boy cuss and go ham the whole movie. Basically, Taraji's black. She's dating a Caucasian man. He's a police officer, and the son hate him. He want to get rid of him the best way he can, but end up getting his family into some criminal stuff on the way.
Oh, wow.
And they just go in this whole little spree, and it's a dope movie. It is rated R, so kids, even though there is a kid in it, you cannot watch it. Parents, please block the kids from watching it, even though you can watch it. All right, so now we're going to go on down to the next one. And again, that's on Netflix. Make sure you get that. Second one, it's called Extraction. It's a new movie starring Chris Hemsworth. It's this Indian billionaire's son who gets kidnapped, and he has to go and get him with this private company. But come to find out, people going against them, some things get turned around, and just action for all my action lovers. This is a movie for you. Extraction, Netflix. Go get
check that out.
Please do. I'm telling you, it's lit. Extraction.
Yeah.
Listen, go see that. If you like action, that's a good movie. Chris Hemsworth.
I'm not going to see nothing. I'm going to watch it.
You know what I mean? Well, look, just walk out your door and walk in like you're walking into a theater. Make yourself
get some popcorn and red wine.
Put it in your kitchen.
Turn the lights off.
Make it feel like you're there, man. Number 3 on my list is called The Loft. Now, The Loft is an older movie. I forgot when it came out, maybe like 2016, 18 maybe. But it's about 5 guys who they all go in on this New York apartment so what they can go do, extramarital affairs, But what ended up happening is they end up finding a dead body in the loft.
Yeah, I see that.
Stuff to start. I'm telling you, that's a great movie. It's called The Loft. Amazon Prime got it. There's a couple other places. If you Google it, it'll show you other places that got it. But please, The Loft is so dope, man. It goes on the whole journey. Now, number 4, we have an amazing guest coming to the show today. So I had to throw one of his on this list. If you've ever seen Underground, it came out on 2016. It's about the slavery movement. How Aldis Hodge, who will be joining us later on the show, he plays Noah on the show. And Noah is a field slave, and he ended up falling in love with a house slave. And they end up running off. Harriet Tubman comes along at one point. It's a dope movie, man. Dope show, I should say. I might have to ask them why they canceled it. Because I'm mad that they canceled it because it was the dope. And it was only on for like a year, I think. I think they had maybe 1 or 2 seasons.
I think that was a show, and John Legend produced that, huh?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was. Yeah. That show was amazing, man. It was just a dope black slave movie series. Cool, so if you haven't seen it, go see it. I'm going to ask them why they canceled it because they need to bring it back, man. Now, last on my list on Hulu is called Shrill. It's a comedy series. Now, it's different. I usually don't watch stuff like this, but when I sat down and watched it, it's funny. It's about a white lady. I forget her name. She's a heavier, girl. And all these people keep telling her, you need to lose weight to be happy tonight. She's like, I don't need to lose no weight to be happy. And it's just going this whole thing about her being positive about her body, her loving her life, her trying to come into her life. Her parents are sick. Her dealing with that. Her dealing with just life in general. But it's a dope show. For the people that like unexpected good comedies, go see Shrill on. Sorry, LB. See Shrill in your home. On Hulu. All right.
I just want to make sure that we're leading the people down the right path. Okay.
Yeah, we ain't doing what the vice president doing, and going against the grain. But that is your quarantine and chill. Go see those top 5, please. Now
let's show it.
LB.
So we gonna do this real quick. We got to run. We got to run. We got to move. We got to move. So check it out. Check it out. This is a good one. Beware of monotony. It's the mother of all deadly sins.
Oh, that's hot.
Hold on, y'all.
What you said?
You gotta say the quote of the day. Hold on. This is the quote of the day. Y'all gotta make sure y'all catch it, man.
The quote of the day is this: beware of monotony. It's the mother of all deadly sin.
Now,
listen. For those of you who are listening,
since somebody ran
Bishop Ziggy, break it down for him.
Monotony.
Break it down for him, Zig.
Doing the same thing over and over and over and over again.
Monotony is just like insanity. Yeah. Trying to do the same, trying to get different results doing the same thing. Over and over. It's like running up against a brick wall.
Yeah.
Literally.
Pretty much.
Like literally.
So since this show is geared towards, for the most part, creatives, entertainers, musicians, artists, and so forth and so on, be careful with doing the same thing over and over again, getting stuck in the box, really push yourself, do whatever you got to do to break the monotony.
Try something new.
That's pretty much it.
It's refreshing.
And this has been your social buzz.
Hey, look. He's so stupid, man.
What'd you say, my man?
Nah, you just gotta cut me off because I was coming for your muscle game. You know what I'm saying? It's
my bad, man.
Hey, you coming for the muscles?
I was coming for I was gonna say in the spirit of
you stupid dog.
Your nipples out and everything. when the gym does open back up, same thing. You want to get in there, just don't work one muscle group, LB. Just
okay. All right. Okay. Hey, how those legs looking? Because your legs are weak.
You stupid, man.
you be proud. I started doing legs and squats. So.
Good for you, man. Good for you.
You got it.
He said good for you, man.
Top part. Just keep it.
You stupid, man.
Make sure you're balanced. Make sure you find a healthy balance. You know what I'm saying?
A very healthy balance. Well, an amazing show, like we've been saying. We have an amazing guest coming on. He will be with us shortly, Mr. Aldis Hodge. Man, I think one of the most slept-on actors, upcoming actors in a long time, man. And I'm not saying that because I'm biased and he's the homie, but I'm just saying he's a really great actor. So we'll be right back.
Stay tuned.
We on the way back.
Stay tuned.
What up? How y'all doing, man?
What's good,
man? How are you, brother?
Chilling. Hot. What up, bro?
What up, big dog?
Turn up.
Hey, man. Man.
Get your
like a family reunion in here.
Whoa. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the homie, the myth, the legend, my boy, we go way back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Alexander Aldis Hodge is in the building.
Yo.
Like 12 or 11 or something like that, man.
What'd you say, John?
I said we go back to when I think I was like 11 or 12, not like 11.
Yeah, man.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Bro, we old, bro.
No, man, we just experienced. We ain't never old, man. We just more experienced.
I guess.
It's like, what the seasoning for these eggs, man? y'all the seasoning for the eggs, bro.
I guess, man. I'm feeling it, bro. I'm like my height, but I'm still feeling it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Welcome to the show. That's Antonio Ramsey. That's Ziggy down there and down below me. I don't know if he's below you. It's Lawrence, bro, man. And dude, we're the social.
What's up, man?
LB Lawrence, bro. Right into it, man. Let's just jump right into it and get going. LB, you want to go first?
Let's just get him to tell us a little bit about himself and a little bit about his background.
Military brat, born in North Carolina, raised in New York and Jersey as a kid, and then hit LA. But I stay East Coast, to my heart. Nothing against the West Coast. Look, I love LA. I got folks out here that I really, really love. So ain't nothing against West Coast at all. It's my home.
Like this.
But yeah, no, I'm East Coast till I die. Man, I mean, I had a little bit of a rough upbringing with not having many financial means. But got moms, got brother, got a sister. We all hustle together. Been in the game as an actor since I was 2, so I'm on my 32nd year this year right now.
Wow, man.
Congrats.
Yeah, old. The blessing in that is being able to maintain and still make a living at it.
Right.
It ain't easy, I ain't gonna lie. And consistency of quality is very hard to come by when it comes to the work, trying to level up and make sure that the work you're doing is actually taking you somewhere, because you can have a hot few years, pardon my language, that don't mean shit.
Right.
It's all about building out the longevity of the plan, building out your steps and making sure that the strategy is hitting. And that's not just entertainment. I think that's with any business. I'm involved in many different types of businesses, some that have done well, some that have failed, some that have plateaued. And it's all about execution, where you basically you finish where you start. So make sure that when you start, you know enough about where you want to go. And I'm not talking about tomorrow, next month, next year, none of that. Nah, I'm talking like 10, 20, 30 years, because you'll see as you're hustling, and I'm not talking to y'all know, I'm talking to the audience. You'll see as you're hustling that those 10, 20 years will pass you up real quick. And you might still be in the same place. So strategy, execution is everything. But yeah, man, been an actor for since I was 2. I've always been an artist, painter, sketching stuff here and there. And then I got heavy with engineering and design around like 18, 19. So I've been doing that. That's my other profession. I've been doing that since I was like 19.
Wow.
Yeah, so I kind of round out the of being a nerd on all sides, and just an artsy, weird. I don't know if I'm a hippie. I'm a little hippie in me, though.
Shout out to the hippies. Shout out to the hippies.
I love hippies, man.
Well, listen, man, you've done a great deal of film and television. Do you prefer one over the other?
Nah, I just prefer quality, man. When it comes to film and TV, they can allow for different things, and there's a balance you can strike. Like, I was on a show for 5 years, which is, we didn't know every year if we were going to come back. So there's no sense of security. But then again, with this industry, entertainment, there is never any sense of security. That's not existing. But within those 5 years, I was like, all right, cool. The show gives me a consistent check for this specific amount of time. That's cool. House and home is taken care of. All right, great. So, but where's the show taking me? And then also in the time that I'm not working, because that show was only, a season was only like maybe 4 to 6 months of shooting at max. You got to figure out the rest of your year.
Right.
So I like the autonomy between the two of them. And I have found a balance now later in my career where I go from television show to knocking out a movie to, and that's the balance that I've been wanting to strike for a long time. Within, this last year, I was able to knock out a season of my show, my current TV series, and then on the hiatus, I was able to knock out 2 films. Nice. So it keeps you employed for the majority of the year, and then it keeps you moving. But that's kind of how you want to lock it in, just so you can stay active. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because show, like I said, consistency. If your show is on for a minute, but you want to make sure career-wise that when the show stops, because it will, when the show stops, you don't want to stop with it.
Special quarantine edition.
So reflecting on the resume, All right, because I'm
and you got a resume, man. You got a resume.
Pretty extensive.
All right, so reflecting on your resume, big dog, like Hidden Figures, Brian Banks, City on a Hill, Underground, Straight Outta Compton, and also winning the SAG Award, which is huge, big dog. Like,
congrats.
Thank you.
You're welcome, man. Like, it's a twofold question. So do you feel like you're at a point in your career now where you have the leverage to go or pick and choose the scripts or roles you want? And as a Black actor, do you feel like when picking those roles, do you feel like it's important to reflect us and our culture?
Yeah. I'll handle the back half of that first.
Okay.
It is very important because, overall, generally, I see myself, I'm just an actor. The industry pegs me as a Black actor, and sometimes that's used against us because they think we don't transition well worldwide, which is the absolute opposite of what we do, right? We translate very well when it comes to worldwide box office, when it comes to different cultures and how they eat up our culture. I mean, let's be honest, Black culture has been heavily influential worldwide, especially when it comes to the ideas of theory, theology, religion, mathematics, academia, art, music. I mean, everybody is on hip hop. Like, everybody it's the coolest thing ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's our shit. Like, blues. You want to talk about rock and roll? Where did it come from?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It came from us being involved. It came from guys like, Sam Cooke organizing songs to be written for I believe, I want to say the Rolling Stones, but we were heavily influential all the way around. So the thing that is outside of our control is the fact that we don't occupy most of the controlling seats, the political controlling seats in the industry, the executive positions, the president, the vice president, the who's handling marketing, this, that, and the other. Most of these people are white. Most of these people don't understand how we translate and how to communicate what our value is. They get it wrong a lot. And we have a huge responsibility to try to make sure that whatever we do, there's something that is evolutionarily, that's representative in an evolutionary way for our culture. Yeah. If it has to deal with the drugs and the guns and this and that, that's an element of what goes on, but that's an element of what goes on in every culture all around. The thing is, it's tied to our culture as though it's a mask, it's a stamp on us. And when it comes to, white people who don't carry the weight or bear the shame of certain biases, it's, I think, an unfair scale, because nobody goes to see the Goodfellas or anything like that and says, well, all white people are mobsters, and it's just a movie, right? Yeah. Their culture is not tied to the fallacy of what this particular genre is. It's a part, and because of the way the culture is treated, it stays just a small part of their definition, but it's not the totality. For Black people, our truth is that we are great, we are eloquent, intelligent. We are so many things that we're not given credit for when it comes to our art and our contribution. So it's very important that we choose roles that are representative in a way that allows people to see us and communicate with us and process how they perceive us in a very different way. Yeah. Because most people have made up their mind about us without even talking to or engaging us. They just see us from afar and say, oh, you must be da-da-da. I'm a self-trained engineer, and most people think, oh my God, you're a Black engineer? Black engineers are common as fuck. Like, this is not rare. Chill on all that. You might be surprised that I'm an American horologist dipping into like watch design and all that. I get it. Most people think it's a Swiss thing. It's really not only a Swiss thing, but I get that. But don't be surprised that I'm intelligent and Black. That's the biggest insult that most people mistakenly are guilty of doing.
Yeah.
As far as the first question, remind me again.
Pretty much, do you have the leverage now with your resume to pick those songs?
It depends, man. It depends. There are some things that I'm lucky enough to have come my way that I can choose on, and other things I still got to fight for. There's still some doors I can't get into. You know what I mean? I feel like my career right now it's in a healthy place, but it's not in a place that I have fought for. It's not in a place that I have. I think that my current standing in my career, and this may sound conceited as hell, my current standing in my career is not representative of the work that I've actually put in. I think that I will continue to go further, but it's slow. But at the same time, I have to be grateful for where I'm at and acknowledge that, because I otherwise could not be here. You know, I'm in a very enviable position, which I'm really aware of. The things that I think about when that question is asked are the battles that I have to fight, you know, meticulously behind the scenes that most people will never see and never know about. You know, they just see you on a movie and they see you in a show and they think, oh, cool, like it's great. And it's like, no, this took real hustle. Oh man, you just got that. They toss it up to you. No, I auditioned 3, 4, 5 times. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that I shouldn't have to. That's the hustle. But, you know, there are some areas where, you know, the layup has just been given, and based off of work I've done in the past. And I'm very grateful for that. I don't take it for granted, but it's just all a part of the business, you know. I always say that whatever works against me today will work for me tomorrow when it comes to this, because you can't make the mistake of getting your personal feelings tied up into it. It's hard to do, and we fall often, you know, into that trap. But I like to try to sort of mitigate my emotional risk with understanding that I'm doing what I got to do. If ever I feel like I need more or I'm not doing enough or whatever, a lot of that is just personal ego, and I got to sit back on it, you know. But
he dropping them gems. He dropping them gems, y'all. Mr. Hodge dropping the gems on you today. He dropping the gems.
And self-reflection is the key to longevity, because you got to make sure you're emotionally stable to handle the curveballs that come with any industry that you're in. Because success, you know, pardon my language, I'm just keeping it 100. You know, success is you know, is a monster, because most people don't realize that success is just an acronym or synonym for hard ass work. And you got to figure out how to hold on to yourself through it. Either you're going to hold on to yourself and lose a lot of people along the way that you thought was virtue, or you're going to lose yourself at it. And you're going to gain a lot of people around you that ain't for you, because you don't know yourself anymore.
Facts.
You got to really figure that out and figure out what's worth it. You know, do you want people to like you, or do you want people to respect you? It's a possibility to have both. A very rare possibility, but at the same time, end of the day, respect is king. And for people to respect you wholly, not everybody gonna like you. Some people will, some people won't. Because to respect you means you got to put your foot in their ass every now and then. Oh, what's up?
Trust me, don't get LB started on that. Please don't get LB started, because that's a whole other conversation for a whole other time. We're gonna slide off of that, because we don't want LB to get stirred up.
He already got his
muscle shirt on. Please don't get him started, man. But I got a question. Look,
man.
Look, it is getting summertime. It's summertime. No problem. Yeah. LB, don't take that like, look, man, we only gonna let you only one time. You get one time to have a muscle.
One time.
So I got a question for you. So me and Hop, as artists, I know I can't. I don't want to speak for Hop, but for me, sometimes I hear songs and I'm like, damn, I wish I would have wrote that song. I wish I would have sung that song. Hop, have you ever had that experience where you like, I wish I would have? So as an actor, has there ever been a role in a movie or a series that you were like, oh, I wish I would audition for that, or I wish I would have got that role.
Oh, all the time. All the time.
What was the last one? Give us the most recent. Well, he don't only want to say. Okay, give us the one before the most recent.
We ain't gonna say that. Can't say it, man. Know so many people in the game. What I will say is, though, it does hurt when you're sitting there and you've been chasing down a project, trying to get that household, trying to be seen, and just being ignored and lied to or whatever, and then you see it pop up. Damn. There's one thing, like you can't hate on something when you don't have the opportunity. You could try to earn it, but it's like if the opportunity didn't come your way, it wasn't for you, So even in that situation when you're chasing something and the opportunity doesn't come your way, at the end of the day, you got to say, okay, that wasn't for me. That wasn't mine. It's not about it being your time or not. I think your time is now. A lot of people tell you, oh man, you about to be next. I hate that. I despise that. Whenever somebody says that to me, they don't know that I'm secretly in my mind punching them. And they mean it with the best intentions.
Hey man, just don't wear no tank top.
They mean it with the best intentions. So I don't, it's not a personal thing. It's not like I personally don't like that person. It's the reinforcement that you should wait. Be patient. Sure. Yeah, I think patience is a very valuable thing when it comes to this industry. When it comes to any monogram of success, any small amount of success, you're gonna have to wait on at some point. It's gonna come, but not in the time frame that you want it. Sometimes it comes faster, but when it comes to people telling you about your time. If I wait, you'll tell me that I'm next up for the next 30, 40, 50 years.
Right.
And tell me it's okay, it's coming. No, because everybody else who made it, you don't look at them and say, oh, their time should have been late. No, you say, oh, the time is now. Yeah, everybody's time is now. It's here, it's current. We don't have tomorrow, promise, none of that. Your time is now. Get yours. But as far as opportunities, what I've learned is, whenever an opportunity you feel like is taken away from you, oftentimes we're stuck focusing on the idea of what we've lost as opposed to focusing on the new door that's opened. And there's an opportunity in the fallacy or the illusion of loss, right? Especially when it comes to professional measures. There's always, even I got fired today. Damn, no. You have an opportunity to go do something that you're supposed to be doing, to go spend time doing something that's on you. It might be a little tough startup, but what the hell? Is it tougher to start up doing something that you're going to be passionate about? Or is it tougher to sit there and spend another 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years, whatever, doing something that you're not passionate about, but it just gets you by? What's the take a risk on yourself? You know what I'm saying? But for all those opportunities that I see, and I'm like, damn, I have to learn to allow it to inspire me, not to do something like that, but to do the things that are in my heart. And if you don't know what's in your heart, then you have to have a conversation with yourself about, well, what do I really want? And it's not about the short-term, hey, I want the good, the money, and the this, that. Nah, I don't mean nothing. What do you want that is going to substantiate your foundation as an artist with whatever you're doing? What actually helps that? You know what I mean? So the thing is, the universe will keep trying you, and it'll keep flashing opportunities in your face and letting them keep walking past you if you have not done the internal work you need to do to figure out what it is you want, how you want to move. Because a lot of people will get mad crazy early ideas of success, big fame, big money, this, that, and the other. And honestly, to me, that's not real success. I think we have to define it for ourselves. But, most people think that, you're doing the big, you getting this job, da-da-da. A lot of people get that, and then they burn out mentally because they burn out spiritually. And they destroy themselves. I've seen a lot of people in this industry fall by the wayside and not maintain because they got stuff too soon, didn't know how to handle it because they didn't know who they were. So that could also be a curse if you ain't ready for it. So
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this: with the gems you dropping, we're gonna start an Aldis self-help book to get the people. I just want 3% for being on this call during the self-help topics. We definitely gonna get that out. You gotta drop that. Look, just.
I thought I've been through a lot. I told you, been in the game 32 years, man, and but I talk a lot too. So y'all gonna have to cut me off at some point. Like,
you're good, man. You dropping gems.
Hey, you know what it is? It's the Carolina curse.
Hey,
I'm a Carolina boy, so I get it.
North South. Where you
South Carolina.
Okay, got you. What part?
Yeah, Columbia.
I got you. All right,
Yeah.
I'm out of Jackson.
Shout out to the South.
Yeah, you know the Carolina boy. Hey man, we on things, man. No, man, that's super cool, man. Like you know, I think my first awareness was back when you did leverage TNT.
Word up.
Yeah, I don't think I had a lot of cable back then, so like it wasn't cable channel, but just the opportunity to see a very young black male that looked like myself, who in my opinion was a true breakout star. That role that you played,
thank you, man.
Was a real true breakout role, and just kind of how you helped to keep a balance with, you know, just that whole production. I thought that was super amazing. But with that being said, like Hop mentioned, the accolades that you received, I want to speak to the terms of the Oscars, right? And why? I know. Hey,
his face said it all. His face said it all.
You know, I mean, you think about it. You've been doing this for 32 years, and if anybody knows the work that you put in, you know, even out, you know, the iconic roles playing MC Ren, like the hidden figures, like really getting into that, and this just is real, and we all kind of know who controls that, right? But in your opinion. You don't have to go anywhere.
He's like, I won't. Don't worry.
Exactly. Right. Just get ready.
He's like, I want to keep working.
Why do you? Why do you think people of color, and I'll use people of color because I think that's a very open statement, people of color have not been able to secure a lot of the nominations or even wins outside of, you know, best supporting, or you got to be, you know, I know Halle Berry, and I'm glad she received it, but she got a lot of flack for why she received it. Right. Even though she received it, and I think for me, that was just a collection of all her work, and she got her what she deserved. That was just my thought. Yeah. And then the second part is, you know, as an actor, how do you feel about the Tyler Perry statement about building your own table? If they won't let you at one, I'll build my own.
So as far as how I feel about the Academy, I'm an Academy member.
Hey,
congratulations!
Thank you. I'd say that I ain't trying to flex on nobody. I'm saying that because now.
Man, flex, man. You gotta flex, man.
Hey, show LB on the flex. LB so on the flex.
I'm in the Academy. You know, I actually have a voting voice. You know, I can vote on these things. I still think that there is an abundance of antiquated thinking when it comes to what makes a good movie a good movie. You know, whenever a film peaks out of the norm, out of the expectation, there's a certain criteria that dictates how people receive it and talk about it. And, you know, and when it comes to films that, you know, we got foreign films, or we got, you know, films for Black people, and films that, you know, the color and the culture is what leads to conversation as opposed to the content of the quality of the film, which oftentimes pisses me off, because it's like, oh man, this Black film just got nominated for da-da-da-da. We can't be surprised by our own success. And we can't have that in the conversation, because the consistency of these conversations pushes people to continually expect and accept that we are not normalized when it comes to the consideration. Black people have been putting out fantastic work forever. It should be normal to have us all up in. It should be normal to have Black people, Latin people, Asian people, everybody else who ain't white in the mix equally, right? When it comes to these award shows, because the Oscars is supposed to reflect the best art that reflects the audience. The audience is not all white. I have said this before, and I feel like, and I stand behind this. I don't care who's mad at this. I feel like for people to really understand it, because there are a lot of people who don't get what we are asking for when it comes to real semblance of equality. And I'm not talking about diversity. Diverse word being to divert something different, right? To have a bunch of integrated cultures, that's not different. There's nothing different about that. That's what America is and always has been. That's what the world is, right? So to introduce diversity, to me, having all white people in a group of space where you have all these other colors working around, that's different to me, because that's not what I see on a regular basis. And I say that because I don't like the way diverse has been used. It's been used as a crutch, just like urban and just like, all these things in the industry. Because on the inside, the conversation that happens at the executive table is, oh, we've written this fantastic script and damn it, you know what crowd do we want to reach? Well, guys, we want to, there's this percentage of crowd, there's the black crowd, there's guys, we need to be diverse. Let's throw a black guy in there, or let's put a gay person in there. And it's like, there's nothing different about those people. The problem is the boardroom. The problem is the decision makers. The problem is the people who are not thinking outside of saying this is not normal, right? So anyway, as it relates to the Oscars, it would be interesting to see 5 consistent years of Oscars where there is not one white person nominated for leading actor, best director, best film, best score, because with the physical representation, I think that then people would start to understand, oh, wait a minute, that's how it feels to be left out. I'm not saying that I want for people who are deserving to be neglected. I'm saying that for people who are in positions of power to really change the scope, for them to understand, when you visually see and when you start to feel inherently, oh, that is that sense of feeling like that sense of desertion. I put in all this work and I'm still not being recognized. And, the Oscars' job is to reflect the best talent out there. And when it's not doing its job, can't help but be embarrassed behind it. I will say it was fantastic. 2017, we were nominated for Hidden Figures, and we all saw that Moonlight took it home, and that was fantastic. It was great. I'm happy Moonlight took it home, but I'm not happy about a black film taking it home. I'm happy about a good film taking it home, and it happened to be led by, written by, created by Black people. So what does that say? It sets a standard that this is normal. So now accept it. So when other films like that come along, stop pushing us out, because now it just looks deliberate. That's the problem. It is, for me, I'm very proud to be a black man, a black actor, to be a part of films that are, have multicultural cast, Black, Hispanic, Asian, whatever. Because the normalcy is not there. It's still not the expectation within this industry, and it doesn't make sense to me. But I realize that in my personal experience, that is the content of my skin has always been used against me. Like, not necessarily in the most progressive way possible, And I'm not talking about this conversation. We all brothers. We black, what I'm saying? This is a progressive, but when you're sitting there doing a press tour for a film, you're sitting there with a bunch of white actors, and they get all these questions from the reporters, and then the reporter gets to you and it's like, so as a black actor in the cast, it's like, you ever ask Brad Pitt how it feels to be a white actor? No, because his color has to do with the fucking project. You know what I'm saying? But back to Hobbs' point, it is why we as black actors have an extra responsibility to be very careful about how we represent ourselves, because there's a machine that doesn't necessarily work in our favor, because the representation that this machine prefers is for us to be dumbed down. I've been in auditions before as a child actor where you got a 40-year-old white man staring at me saying, "Oh, you're not black enough." Literally, that happened when I was 12.
Wow.
I was like, I'm not black enough. Why? Because I'm too articulate. This is what black people are. I'm confused, Right. And there was a time where I stopped taking auditions to play the thug and the athlete because that's all that was there. I don't disagree with that. I think that's fine as long as there's a point to it. But if you're only doing that because that is the highest iteration of representation that you can fathom for us, we got a real fucking prop. You know what I'm saying? Pardon my language, I'm just being real. As far as what Tyler Perry said in terms of building our own table, that's what a lot of us have been trying to do for a minute. And he's right. And we've been doing it communally. We've been doing it with building our teams. Back in the day, look at Robert Townsend. He was a table. You know what I'm saying? Look at Keenan Ivory Waynes and how he orchestrated things for his brothers and his sisters, his whole family. They were a table. When have you ever seen a family unit like that put on the map, black or white? When? Right. True. You know what I'm saying? So you have units like that. We have had tables in the past. We still got tables, and we still have to continue being our own table because it is only up to us to understand the little pockets of opportunity that are there in terms of representing ourselves well that other people are missing because they don't see it and they don't experience it. I got to educate people on a regular basis. Doesn't matter what job it is. I can almost consistently say that at least 90% of the jobs I work on, whenever it comes to the representation of my voice, and we have a staff of primarily white writers, there's always a conversation about the truth of what it means to be a human being, because they're writing from perspective of I don't want to say a stereotypical perspective, but it almost seems as such because they don't have the real experience. And it's up to you to educate people. So whatever position you're in, be fearless. And there's a professional and a succinct and respectful way to go educate people who you're working with. Like, yo, I understand what you're trying to do, much respect, but this is how we can do it better because this right here is sending the wrong message. We have to constantly do that. And that's how we affect in sort of, micro ways that that's how we affect change in terms of the narration and the skew of how we are seen because of the people that are writing on our behalf that are well-meaning, who that's how they get to learn. There are things that we just cannot tolerate.
Like I said, man, this book needs to come out. Okay, because everything that come out your mouth could be written down and put into a book. So like I said, we're going to take this and we're going to confine it to an audio book. We're going to go ahead.
We're going to do all the work for you. We're going to do all the work for you. Don't worry about it.
All the back office stuff.
Question. I assume you painted that the flag with the blood on it in the back, huh?
Yeah. It's, they are, of course, the colors of the Black Revolutionary flag, black, red, and green. And then within the lines, within the black lines, it's Dr. Martin Luther King's entire I Have a Dream speech.
Oh, that's lit. Are you selling copies, man?
With the right price.
That thing is 8 feet long. Ain't no copies of that.
Look, that's a one and one only. Look.
Let me tell you, I'm still waiting on my watch design when it.
I'm waiting, man.
I know you.
I honestly haven't really even been speaking on that as of late, just because I got my head down and focusing, because people don't realize that I've been talking about it for a while. I've been working under wraps as a designer for a long time, a horological designer, and then I have a company which I'm trying to establish myself. But there are a lot of challenges that go against me in terms of organizing teams, in terms of getting manufacturing done, in terms of fair business and fair trade, because I can try my best to do it over here in America. We don't have the infrastructure to get everything. We have the infrastructure to do enough, but with some of the designs, some of my innovations that I've created,
innovations. That's how you know it's gonna be nice. That's how you know it's gonna be nice. Listen, I need one. I'm just gonna say it now. I'm putting in my order really early. I need one.
Hey man, it just comes along with the experience of certain manufacturing houses that have been doing a certain thing for a while, right? So you got to make sure you get up in there. You got to make sure that the cash flow is right, which is another issue. But yeah, I'm still working. I never stop. In fact, this whole quarantine time has just been nothing but me designing. I should be reading scripts, but I was like, nah, I got in the creative flow. I designed like 7 different watches.
Wow.
3 weeks. Now, when I say that, most people are like, well, how do you do that so fast? And what thought was put into it? These are just preliminary. What you do is you design one base to start with, right? And then from that base, based off of how I, in my head, theorize the movement or compose where everything goes, right? When it comes to making a new version, you think about, well, what components do I have to add or take away, right? So you add marginally from one to the next to the next to the next, so that you can create a whole family that's very consistent in DNA. So as soon as people see it on the wrist, they're like, oh, that's such and such. DNA is very important, but also in terms of the mechanical aspect of it and trying to give people a new experience, you have to figure out how to basically, it's like reinventing the wheel, because we all understand watches, we know how to tell time, but how do you experience selling time in a different way? That is, it's not about the act. It's not about driving a car. It's about what you feel when you drive that car. How fast can it go? How does it perform? How does it respond, right? That's why people get certain cars that they do. They want a customer experience. So with my watches, in terms of the designs, I've been just basically working on DNA, working on different movements that I hope to see in the next 10 years, because for watchmaking, it
I'll
takes
be here, Lord
2
willing,
years minimum to develop a movement from scratch, and that's minimum. I gotta plan out like 10 to 20 years in terms of manufacturing one to the next to make sure that there's consistency. I've just been out here just getting that work going and making sure I'm trying to line myself up, because even though we're sort of in a lapse right now, I believe that this is a necessary break for a lot of us. I don't believe that the reason is necessary. This COVID shit can go. But I do believe that, I was working and I was asking for like, I've been traveling and working for like 2 years straight, which I'm very grateful for, but I've been asking for, I was like, damn, I just need 2 weeks for vacation, you know what I mean?
The Lord was like, bam, there you go.
Yeah. 2 months, you got it.
I got the 2 weeks. I damn
Then
sure
some.
But it's not about where I should have been or where I wanted to be for that time off. It was what I wanted to do in that time, which was work on myself, work on some habits that I felt like might be holding me back at this particular place in my life. Because, you got to check in with yourself and like reassess a few things. So I've been wanting to do that. And then also work on planning, because when you look at times like this, I treat it like the stock market. You don't pull out when the stock is down. You sit there, you stay steady, and then you prepare for when it's about to go up. So right now, a lot of people should understand there's a real opportunity in the time that we have in terms of this enforced quarantine to focus on certain things: values, growth, how we communicate, how we appreciate the people in our lives. And then personally, like, I'm preparing for when this stuff is over, I'm ready to hit the ground running.
Right.
There's a buddy of mine who's a pastor. I'm not religious, I'm spiritual, I believe in God, but he, I like the way he preaches because he's very open and accepting. And he told me that rest is a discipline, because I'm always on the go looking for that next thing, It's a survival mentality of like, back in the day, it just like my family, we used to be homeless. So that kind of stuff, it don't leave you no matter how much money or whatever, how many jobs, you just don't get comfortable thinking like, oh, this is great. No, it's, all right, what's that next one? But he told me rest is a discipline, and I have to figure out, I took it to heart, because I really do have to figure out how to rest in peace and not feel so anxiety ridden, because I think I have to be doing this, doing that, just to make it by, So right now is the time to learn how to rest. But rest is also a verb, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Listen, man, if I don't stop you, we gonna be here all night. You know what I'm saying? We gonna let you
just keep going because I'm telling you, we making that book, so we gonna let you talk.
I'll keep the next answer.
Part two.
No, listen, man. Listen, before it's all really quick. Before it's all said and done, how do you want the world, right? How do you want the world to remember you?
To remember me?
Yes.
I'm not really sure. I would, I try to walk through life being a fair person. I try to walk through life being kind, and I'm learning on a daily basis how to represent, rather how to emulate mercy and empathy,
Yeah.
And that comes from learning how to forgive. And, I remember things, but, to let them go so they don't control me. How to live outside of fear, not let fear dictate your actions. So I'm not sure how I want the world to remember me, but in this time that I do have, I hope that people think of me as a kind and fair human being.
Wow, man. That's all we can ever hope for, man. Just the people that know we're fair. That's all we need. We fair,
man. Listen, man. Go ahead, Hop.
Nah, man. Thank you, man, for just being honest and being you, man. Like, that's all we ask for, and that's what that's what the world and everybody needs, man. Just honest, straight up, forward people, man, who aren't afraid to be themselves and aren't afraid to make a difference, man, and using their talent and gift to do that, man. And
I appreciate it,
man, since kids, bro, I always respected you and Edwin, bro, you and your brother, bro, and
that respect is mutual, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you, bro. Dude, thank you so much for being on.
Absolutely, man.
Hold on. And I'm mad that Underground didn't come back. I'm just gonna say that before we leave. I'm so mad Underground didn't come back. I'm about to start a petition about that one. I just had to put that out there. Well, go ahead, Hop. My bad. I just had to say that.
And petition. Since you on the board, I don't care what y'all said. Angela Basket deserves an Oscar.
Immediately.
You say she deserves an Oscar?
She deserves that, man.
She been deserved an Oscar.
Yeah. You gonna get it.
You.
Bassett's right there.
That's facts, man.
I appreciate this. The fellowship is dope. Appreciate y'all for real.
Definitely,
Thank you, man. We appreciate you, man. You family now.
Yep.
Social Cypher family, man.
Family now, man.
Sorry
so in light of being family, and I'm gonna try to get this right because I jack this up every single time. I'm just gonna be honest.
You do. Look,
jack it up. I jack it up every single time. So I'm gonna take my time. Okay. We here at the Social Cypher. I need silence. Let me do my thing.
Okay, we're gonna be quiet for you. We're gonna be quiet.
I'm acting. Hold on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, action. All right.
See, you already cut.
We have a ritual here, and we pretty much just ask the question, man. We ask. See, I jacked it up.
All right, take it
I jacked it up, man.
All right, so
I can't get it.
All right, so for those audience that are watching, if at the end of the show we always do a chant, and I say we are, and we all say the Social Cypher. So we're gonna do that at the end. But before we do that, LB, go ahead and let the audience know if where they can reach us at, and if they want other people to come on the show. Let them know where they can email us at, man.
I could do that part. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching and checking us out with our man Aldis Hodge. And if you want to check us out, you can check us out at Social Cypher. If you need to email us, if you need us to check out some guests or you want some guests to come on here, socialcypher1@gmail.com. Hop, you got it.
All right, so here we go, bro. So when I say we all say the Social Cypher. So we are
the Social Cypher. Turn up in this
so easy. You know what I'm
saying? Look, that was it.
My time enough?
No, you had it. You didn't know.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for the time, bro.
Thank you for joining and rocking with us, man. Later.
Let's take a moment
for the bleach drinkers.
Those individuals that have been led
for the bleach drinkers.
All right,
they've been led astray.
Not is just like insanity. Trying to do the same, trying to get different results doing the same thing. Over and over. It's like running up against a brick wall.
Be smart. If you can stack your money as best, because you know we're gonna pay it back. Try to save some money every now and then as well. Let's be smart about it, ladies and gentlemen.
deadly sins.
Taxpayer dollars. So it's technically our money anyway. So you're making me feel like I need my money when in fact it's my money.
It's mine anyway.
Reinforcement that you should wait. Be patient. Sure. Yeah, I think patience is a very valuable thing when it comes to this industry. When it comes to any monogram of success, any small amount of success, you're gonna have to wait on at some point. It's gonna come, but not in the time frame that you want it. Sometimes it comes faster, but you know, when it comes to people telling you about your time, if I wait, you'll tell me that I'm next up for the next 30, 40, 50 years.
Right.
Yeah. And telling me it's okay, it's coming. No, because everybody else who made it, you don't look at them and say, oh, their time should have been. No, you say, oh, well, the time is now. Yeah, everybody's time is now. It's here, it's current. We don't have tomorrow promise, none of that. Your time is now.